All right, let's deal with this bullshit down here. Okay, here we've got guys who are posting ads for women that they want to not only be their personal assistant, but also want the woman to engage in sexual acts, and they're willing to pay for this. These are sugar baby relationships. It's a very common thing. Women argue that sex workers are real workers and that they have the right to do that and monetize their sexuality. So women have the right to offer it, but men don't have the right to ask for it. Women have the right to market for it and sell it, but men don't have the right to buy it or ask for what it is that they're marketing for. This woman did an entire report here. Okay, this woman right here did an entire report on men who posted ads on Craigslist, where in the ads, they were as open as they can be on Craigslist to ask for women who want to work as a personal assistant and also double as a woman that gives sexual services as well. And these men are willing to pay for it. And sex work, you guys say, is real work. So how do we play with it, your rules? That becomes the question.
There are still guys who take the personal part of hiring a personal assistant way too literally. We went undercover and answered some ads and were stunned by what happened at the job interview.
It's a job interview unlike any you've ever seen.
What do you expect from me?
Sex, touching, feeling, kissing, the whole 9 yards.
Come again.
That sounds like a man asking for consent to me. In the job ad, he's saying that he wants a woman who is sexy and wants a woman who doesn't mind doing intimate stuff, and he used all the language that he possibly could to be clear about what type of woman should be applying for this role. A woman who does not mind doing actual clerical work and work as a legitimate assistant, and then also sexual favors.
And is this banker really asking this young woman for a job as his administrative assistant in exchange for sex?
And what these reporters are trying to do is frame it as if he's saying you need to have sex with me to get this job, as opposed to part of the job is sex work. It's the most disingenuous bullshit you'll ever see, but men aren't even allowed to accurately, intelligently have these conversations with women. So this is why we have shit like this going on in the world, where women try to fit everything into a sexual assault box. They try to fit everything into a grape box when you're the ones who want to sexualize yourself. So again, I ask the question, is it that you are only allowed to sell it and men are not allowed to buy it? Is it that you are only allowed to offer it, but men are not allowed to ask for it? This man is asking for consent and put up an ad that was telling enough for them as news reporters who were looking for these types of people to easily find him. It's a bunch of bullshit. Let's take a look.
We found his disturbing job listing and others like it posted all over Craigslist.
It's not all over Craigslist. It's an ad section where men know if they want this type of arrangement, this is where they go to post it.
That young woman is actually Inside Edition producer Alicia Powers. When she responded to the ad, this banker asked to meet her not at his office, but a diner in...
Right. He doesn't want you in this place of work. He wants to sit down and be able to chat with you and see if you're capable of meeting what the needs are, if you're attractive enough for what it is that he wants, and that you don't have a problem with this. And then they booby-trapped this guy and then posted it to try to ruin him because they're too busy trying to sell a story that they think is going to get lots of likes and views and couldn't care less about this man's life when he is asking for consent, asking for what he wants, and dealing with, trying to only deal with women who want to offer what it is that he wants. He doesn't want to force this woman into having sex with her. That's why he's making the agreement up front.
This in New Jersey.
Nice to meet you. I'm Steve.
It started off friendly enough, but he quickly got down to business.
I just have a very high libido, and I like to vent it.
Oh my goodness.
Then he makes this shocking offer.
I was thinking just to go to a nearby motel. I'll get a room.
I decided it was time to put an end to this so-called job interview.
Were you just offering this young woman a job in exchange for sex?
No.
Aren't you just a dirty old man taking advantage?
No, he wasn't offering her a job in exchange for sex. The job was sex. And I think this woman knows that. I think she knows what she's doing. I don't think that she's doing this and has no clue what this man was looking for or anything like that. She just sees the man as a dirty old man because he can pay for the sex that women want to sell. And because she believes in a woman's right to sexualize herself and sell sex, but looks down on men who buy it and consume women who sexualize themselves online, she believes she has the right to destroy this man's life. And this is a very, very common thing we're seeing and have been seeing for a very long time.
Of a young woman, sir.
He took off in a hurry.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the company?
Alicia found another creepy ad on Craigslist posted by this guy looking for beautiful women.
You would need to do extra behind closed doors either before, during, or after the normal workday.
He told her
How much more clear can these men be that they want to hire women who have clerical abilities and are comfortable performing sex work? You guys want the right to sell it. You guys want the right to sexualize yourselves and be able to monetize that. That's why there's OnlyFans workers and porn stars, and liberal women are not trying to fight down, destroy women's rights to engage in porn or OnlyFans or anything. In fact, they're fighting for the right to be able to legally sell sex. It's their body, it's their choice. So help me understand. Help me understand.
his name was Mike and invited her for a job interview.
How's your desk?
Good, you?
Good. This one took place at Battery Park in Lower Manhattan. He said the starting salary paid $60,000.
So this man is willing to pay you $5,000 a week to handle paperwork and also to have sex with him. He's looking for a sugar baby that can do clerical work. What are we doing to go after women who present themselves as sugar babies? Nothing? Oh, so it's only a one-way accountability. The relationship is fine if you're the woman. But if you're the man that engages in that type of relationship, you deserve to be embarrassed and drugged through public and your concepts and ideas of what you're asking for misrepresented.
But it sure seemed like he was interested in more than her clerical skills.
So,
He was upfront about being more interested in her clerical skills. That was in the freaking ad. Jesus.
we would have sex?
We both, it was a consensual thing, obviously. Just figured I'd give it a shot.
It was time for me to stop this job interview right now.
And I'd like to know if you were asking this young woman to trade sex for a job.
I was not.
Because he was not. Sex was the job. He's not asking her to trade it to get a job. He's saying that if you don't want to have sex, then you shouldn't ask for this job because it's part of the jobs. You know Microsoft, you know Excel, you know PowerPoint, you know Guac 3000 with the twist at the top. Like, how much more clear can this man be?
Next interview was with this real estate developer named Joe, who was looking for, as his ad put it, a very personal assistant. He agreed to meet Alicia at this diner in Toms River, New Jersey. Over Eggs Benedict, he talked about his career. Turns out he has a law degree.
Oh, wow.
Before we get to the dollars and cents, I'd like you to come and see what's going on.
Then he invited Alicia back to his home office.
Anytime you say this isn't for me, you want to pick up and leave, you pick up and leave. I'm not a captor.
I mean, the guy is like, I'm looking for something conceptual. I'll pay up front. If you're uncomfortable, then you can get up and leave. So the women are allowed to sell sex, but the men aren't allowed to buy it. And who is pushing this ridiculous narrative? Feminism. Feminist, womanist. Like, these women, they'll do anything to try to get money and likes and attention, right? So I'm going to post pictures of myself half naked on the internet, and then I'm going to try to get rich by exposing the men who like it. How is this a rational approach to reality? How is this practical? Then admit that you're unfair. You don't care. Anything you can do to try to monetize being a woman, you're willing to do it. whether that's being a sex worker or whether that's being a victim. You're willing to do it, especially at the expense of men.
All right.
Were you just offering this young woman a job in exchange for sex?
No.
Are you trying to take advantage of young women?
Turns out that last man is a disbarred attorney who is accused of stealing $1.5 million from his clients. He has pled not guilty.
So what have we learned today? This is a very obvious logical fallacy that I've seen over and over and over again. And it's that women have the right to sell sex, but men don't have the right to ask for it. Women have the right to sexualize themselves, but men don't have they can be judged morally if they engage in any of the content, material, or access that women are providing at a fee. We want to protect the rights and the dignity of the woman who is sexualizing herself while simultaneously shaming any man who participates in her. It's like imagine you own like a sex shop and you have a woman who comes in to buy a vibrator. And then when she purchases the vibrator, the cashier shames and teases and goes at her for buying it. Oh, you can't get a real man? Oh, you can't get this? You can't get that? What's wrong with you? Why would you do that? You sticking strange objects aside? ... That's what these women are doing. It is disingenuous to the core. And for folks like her who consider themselves legitimate journalists, who consider themselves, they're just trying to gain popularity. These are the same thing as Instagram women who over-sexualize themselves for likes and views and attention so that they can try to build massive followings so that they can then monetize those followings. Because when you have thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands or millions of people who view you, then your channel gets monetized and you're able to make money off of it. So these are people that are just trying to get rich, being morally disingenuous, dishonest, and unfair, that want the right to do what they want to do without any of the judgment that comes along with it, while simultaneously maintaining coming from a position where they can judge the people who are consuming their content. It is, to me, like the ultimate manifestation of the female double standard, right? It's just absolutely insane. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to be doing more of these, and let's keep this conversation going. All right, let's keep it going. Let's all figure out how both men and women can have more honest dialogue and come up with better rules about how to deal with one another, better perspectives and concepts of how to see one another so that we might get along better, and call out folks who are divisionalists like this, who are looking to try to create narratives to divide us and make all women victims and all men predators, and to create disingenuous, completely disingenuous, unpractical, unfair dialogues and fantasy realities where the men are all the boogeymen, no matter how upfront and honest we are about something that you guys are engaging in and creating a space for. Let's get real. Let's do that.